Hello everyone and welcome to another Light No Fire video. It has been well over a year since we first learned about this game. As you can see here, December 7th, 2023, Shawn Murray revealed this trailer to the world, stating this is Light No Fire, the next game from Hello Games, and we've been working on this one for the last 5 years. So many emotions, you guys, but mainly let's go. And let's be fair to Shawn as well, because I've been long since predicting that we're going to see a follow-up to the original announcement at this evening's The Game Awards. Shawn Murray's been tweeting out all the different thank yous and various different, tweets regarding the fact is that No Man's Sky is up for another nomination for this year's Game Awards, and I would say rightfully so. But all that being said, I have been predicting that this tonight will hopefully reveal unto us more information about Light No Fire. It is my most anticipated game of 2025, and if you guys enjoy Light No Fire action RPGs, Souls-like RPGs, well, you're in the right spot. If I earn your sub, hit that subscribe button. I'm sure it's somewhere around here on the page. Sound off in the comments if I do, so I can officially welcome you. Just like Nepo creates here. Thank you for checking out the channel and giving it a chance. That's all I ask. Thanks for guys the opportunity. Now, I'm going to be live streaming my reaction to the Game Awards tonight over on Ginger Prime TV. If you guys haven't seen that channel, it is my live stream channel. That is where all live stream and react content is going to be. And if you want to come hang out for that tonight, the link is in the description. The other thing to add is that also the Discord link is in the description. So if you want to come in, have a call-in show, we can discuss all the ins, ands, announcements, and wins and snubs. Like, it's going to be a fun night. I look forward to this each and every year. So hopefully you guys want to come check it out. But ultimately, I really hope that we're going to see a follow-up to Light No Fire's announcement from last year's Game Awards, namely because that is the only bit of information that we've received from Shawn outside of a few cryptic tweets, and he's talked about that they're still working on the game. In 2024, the odds that the game would come out only if it was like in an early access aspect. So I do think because they've been working on this game for 5 years and that the team is a relatively small team, that's one part of the announcement. If you go back to last year, he said it kicked off with 12 people. Obviously that will scale up as they get closer to release. But tonight, what can we expect from Shawn Murray, especially when it comes to Light No Fire? First and foremost, I think I've seen, conversation in the comments. I've seen it a little bit over on Twitter. The idea that they shadow drop the game, and that in and of itself would be absolutely mind-blowing. It isn't my expectation that that's going to happen. I think we're going to get a new trailer. They're going to probably talk about the game a little bit, but also on top of that, I do think that early access for Light No Fire makes the most sense. We're seeing early access, especially with games as service, or these games that are just so monumentally risky and interesting. I guess you could say ambitious is the correct term here. These ambitious, risky games. And I use the word risk in just terms of anything can go wrong, especially when it comes to a multiplayer game and one that is attempting to do what Light No Fire, is advertising that it does. The first real fully open world game, and I think that's going to be something really cool to see how that plays out. So from tonight, though, I could expect that they might announce an early access start date for this game. And I in previous videos, if you guys have seen those, the prediction ultimately is that we're going to see it sometime maybe in the spring of 2025. Obviously, depending on where they're at, that can always push that date around. But I do think that we're going to get something more tangible. And from this point forward, we're hopefully going to start to get at least a little bit better cadence of news when it comes to Light No Fire and a potential release. Now, whether that ends up being a full or an early, well, time will tell. But when I look at how the industry has been reacting with, you have Path of Exile 2, that's an early access. No Rest for the Wicked, an early access. I think this gives the developers the ability to actually get some real feedback and at the same time kind of protect themselves from too much animosity. It's going to come no matter what. There's always going to be those gamers out there that whether they spend money or not on a product, and if it isn't just perfect right out the gate, they're going to be frustrated because there's plenty of other fun things to go play. And I'm not saying that they're wrong. I'm just saying I just don't agree with it. I'm just like, guys, it's early access. This is kind of a relationship that we are building with the devs, giving them feedback, watching them as they turn that feedback into action, or if nothing else, an explanation as to why that's not going to work within the game. Now, as a final thought for the Game Awards tonight, like outside of that, I started wondering, are we going to finally learn something about the Switch 2? Now, this is, I think, further and further down the list of odds. So if it does happen, like, man, if you it's like hitting a number on roulette. If we finally learn about the Switch 2, but I still have a little bit of glimmering hope, namely because also Xbox and PlayStation, they are several years, at least from their next iteration of their home consoles. Switch 2, at least if everything is to be believed, is targeting 2025, and we haven't heard anything about it. Nintendo has been tight-lipped, sealed on it. And I think this would be something really interesting to see, especially because, at least if nothing else, Reggie has a tight relationship with Jeff. And I know Reggie's no longer at Nintendo, but he still represents that for a lot of us old school Nintendo fanboys out there. So I'm going to be looking for that information as well, or any kind of glimmer of hope. It's going to be neat to see what is announced, because we do know there's going to be announcements. So whether it's a Switch 2, or it could just kind of come in the form of a game announcement from Nintendo that just happens to be enhanced for the Switch 2. I guess we'll be breaking all that down and more. Hopefully you guys will join me for the live show, and if not, we'll sure to have the clips all clipped up and over on the Clips channel. Thank you guys so much for your time. I like to wrap these videos up with what I call the message of hope. Now, I'm going to highlight this. Comfort is the worst addiction, from Marcus Aurelius. And what I like to focus in on when we talk about our message of hope is the idea, and the goal is to get you to believe in you, is to get you to accept who you are, but also believe that you can be more. And mental health is especially really important in society today. I don't know if you guys experienced it, but I know I have. We've seen this aspect that nobody really cares about men's mental health. You'll see a couple people virtue signaling that they do, but it doesn't really translate because nobody really cares. And I think that's actually a positive thing. And you might be like, what are you talking about? Knowing that and accepting that, I think, is a little bit more freeing than anything else. If no one's going to care one way or the other, let's be as healthy and as awesome as we can be. And a big part of that, and not that comfort is bad, but it couldn't be an easy addiction, and it could be something that is holding you back. So I just want to challenge you guys with that, is to think about some things, especially as you get ready to go into this new year, and come up with some plans and some baby steps to start moving yourself towards the person that you always either wanted to be, or the person that you think you can be. And it all begins with believing that you can. And in this regards, I say this with the most sincerity possible. Whether you believe you're right or you can, whether you believe you can't, you're right. You're right in both cases. So believe that you can, and you will achieve the things that you set out to achieve. They're not going to necessarily be easy. Life isn't filled with light switch moments. Sometimes it takes a lot of sacrifice. But I can tell you, as somebody who's on the other end of some of these sacrifices, it is absolutely worth it. And I would encourage you guys, especially for your mental health, your physical health, to focus in on those things. Do the things that you can, and don't beat yourself up. Don't waste processing time on the things that you didn't get to. We're all human, right? We all need to sleep. There's nothing wrong with playing a video game and kicking back and relaxing. Just find the right balance for you and for your life. Now, as a final thought from C.S. Lewis, he says, since it is so likely that children will meet cruel enemies, let them at least have heard of brave knights and heroic courage. Otherwise, you're making their destiny not brighter, but darker. And I think this is really interesting, because it is important to know that we need fairy tales. We need to be able to understand that we can overcome our dragons. These things, these monsters in our lives, can be defeated. And I want you to I want to hopefully take this moment and encourage you guys to go fight those dragons. And they're going to be big. We're all fighting at least one dragon in our lives, and it is possible to beat him. And I want you to believe that you can beat your dragon. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for your time. Hopefully I will see you guys in the next video. But until then, take care.